name is Caro, and this is a video podcast where I like to talk about all the crafty things I like to do. And these days it's mainly cross stitch, and today it is 100% cross stitch. I have a lot to show you. I'm super excited for this episode. I have all my notes right there, so if I look down, that's where I'm checking that I'm not forgetting anything, trying to be a little bit more organized. We're back to the whole sit down format. Last episode I tried the vlog style and I really liked the video, honestly. I'm not mad about how everything turned out, but this time around it just didn't work out. I started filming. I'm actually gonna have to insert a clip from those filming sessions, but it just got too long between clips, and then I forgot what I already talked about, and it was hard for me to figure out what I needed to still mention. And yeah, it was just a mess, and it was sick in between. So I figured I have time today, I'm motivated, and so I can just talk about everything in one go, and then it'll be a little bit of a better flow, I hope. So what do I have to show you? I have a packed episode. So we have a fully finished object, which I totally didn't expect that I would get around to doing this, but I finished something. I also have just a finished object, so I finished a project. We have 2 new starts, which especially one of them I'm very excited about. Then we have how many? 1, 2, 3, 4 whips I have to show you. We're basically, I think there's only one whip that I'm not showing you. Otherwise, I worked on everything that I have going right now. And at the very end, we have finally the giveaway winner. So I want to resolve that because back in my whip parade, I snuck in a little giveaway for my pattern that I did and finished in that episode. So stay around for that. I'm sorry, I know it's been a long time waiting. And then I have just a bit of haul. Some of it will be sprinkled in between because I'm already using it. Anyways, and a very, very, very exciting announcement to make. I'm super excited, so I hope you guys are too, but more on that later. And if I haven't rambled on for like 2 hours by that point, we might get into a little bit of a life update as well. But I do want to just start with the normal episode. You can also find me on Instagram. I'm caro.kirsch over there. And yeah, let's start with the fully finished object. And I finished a bag! Yay! So if you watched my very first episode, and the second, I think, then you will remember this project. So this is the Haunted Carousel by the Witchy Stitcher. And yes, I finished this like a year ago, probably, and I finally got around to fully finishing this bag. So my plan, I had these little baggies, drawstring bags, that my yarn advent came in, I think 2 years ago, and I'm just realizing I still have like some threads hanging off here, so I just need to snip those off. And yeah, I basically just sewed the rest of it around it. So I used an old skirt of mine that I cannot fit my butt in anymore, and an old pair of jeans. And yes, so this will be for knitting, probably like socks. I think it's like a perfect sock size bag. And yeah, kind of this was my second ever cross stitch piece I did. I think this is stitched on, no, I need to lie, 32 count, 36 count, something like that. And using anchor floss, most of it. Yay! Happy. Finally finished this one. And the finished object I have is probably not a huge surprise. Or is it? Did I have this started? See, this is what's confusing me so much with like the vlog clip and everything. Then I really don't remember if I already talked about this or not in the actual released footage. So maybe this is more confusing than helpful. Anyways, I did finish My forest fox. So this was a freebie pattern from Pigeon Coop Design. If you pre-ordered his book, what's it called? Cross Stitch Forest, I think it's called. And yeah, you received this if you pre-ordered his book. And I finally stitched it up. It's super cute. I stitched this on 18 count with basically the called for in the end. I originally kitted this one up with my leftover floss from my Dimensions kit, the Peaceful Lake House. But ended up using the called for floss, especially for the greens. And the oranges were super close to what my leftovers were there. So, yay. And I actually did one accidental mistake, which I think is super nice though, because I started stitching this 1/1. And just because all my other projects I stitch with 2/1, when I started getting into kind of the medium green color, I accidentally started using 2 threads. And in the beginning I was like, wow, the CXC is really so much thicker than the DMC. But then I realized, oh, it is a DMC. So why is it so thick? And then, oh, I'm doing 2 strands instead of 1 strand. But yeah, that gave it a bit of dimension, and the forest kind of looks dimensional. So that's fun. So I just continued with it and didn't rip it out. So yay, little finish there. I think I'm actually going to try and finish this into a little Velcro bumper sticker type thing, because my daughter, she's starting school this year, and the new thing, we didn't have that back then, but the rucksacks they're using for school, they have these exchangeable Velcro sticker thingies. So you can buy different packs with fun images on it. And I figured I'll just make that for her as a bumper sticker, and then she can bring that to school and probably totally wreck it up. But she really likes this because she's going into the Fox group at daycare. So she was really interested in getting this. So I figured that's what I do, even though then she'll be in school and not in the Fox group anymore. But I don't think that matters that much. But yeah, nothing else to say. Very happy about this. Now I can kit this down again. I love doing stuff like that. So yay, yay, yay. Moving right along. Oh, maybe I should tell you though, I put 1,610 stitches into it since the last episode. So I did show this last episode. Or was that the total amount of stitches? I think that's the total amount of stitches. Yeah, I don't think I put how many stitches I put in. I'm sorry. Now I'm confused, but I think that's what I wrote down there is the total amount of stitches. So really not that much. Anyways, let's move along. So I have 2 new starts, and I don't know, I'll just show you the one that's up top. And this one is one that you probably aren't too surprised about either, because it's the continuation of my nostalgic tarot stitch that I have going. Oh man, and I'm virtually in the middle of a stitch right here. Hang on, let me at least tighten the needle. And this is a pathetic, pitiful little start. I virtually started this yesterday morning, and I wasn't feeling great at all yesterday, so I didn't get very far. But let me show you nonetheless. Just from the fabric, you might know if you watched any previous episodes what project this is. So I put the incredible amount of 16 stitches on this one, and this is the Hanged Man. So maybe I'll just show you what it'll look like. Oops, sorry, wrong way around. So I'll also put in the original design by the Witchy Stitcher, because what I did with these tarot cards is I transformed them from a pink rainbow to a blue rainbow. If you've been with me any length of time, you know I love blue, so I decided to just change basically the header columns with blue, and then some of the accent colors I also switched to more blue leaning colors than the pink that she's using in the original design, and I did the same here. So this is what mine will look like, just on a dark background. But yes, didn't get very far, but I started it, and that concludes my WIPGO goal for January, because I wanted to finish this. The Fool, isn't he cute? I know, I already showed him, but he's just so awesome. I haven't worked on finishing him though. But yeah, I also wanted to get this started, just to get it started, so I have something to work on and maybe something to go in the place of my Finish Fridays. Yeah, by the way, the Fox was a Finish Friday finish. I actually finished it on Friday, last Friday, which is great. Today, by the way, all over the place. Today is the 9th of March, Sunday. And so yeah, I finished that last Friday, and this Finish Friday thing is really working well for me. I'm chuffed with it. The project that's sitting in the finish spot right now is the Loon. So unless a small project is gonna overtake that Loon, we're not gonna have a finish anytime soon. Certainly not in the next episode. I think I can fairly safely make that announcement, but who knows. Anyways, I'm stitching the Hangman on 40 count. It's Zweigart linen, but I hand dyed that myself with the German equivalent of Rit dyes, which reminds me, something to show you later in the haul section. And that's all I need to tell you guys about with this project. And the next new start, I'm very excited. I've shown you that I have the project kitted up last time already, and the project I started is my Tomb Raider piece, and here it is. Yay! So I like to start in the upper right hand corner, and that kind of originated from me stitching in hand mainly, but as you can see, and this is part of my haul, I got another Nerd hoop, also number 3, seems to be a nice size for me. And yeah, I just stuck to starting in the right hand corner. I don't know, this is actually, I guess, the section I was most anxious about too, which is also why I wanted to start here, because, and I'll probably insert the final picture right now, it is a gradient, right? The whole right third of the piece is a sunset, which is a gradient from the yellow sun to kind of a darker orange in the corners. And I had this chart, I charted this myself, by the way. It's a chart I created myself by photoshopping the 3 main images from the latest games of the Tomb Raider series, and photoshopping them together, and then I charted them with WinStitch. And there is 2 options you can, or like there is an option how you want to deal with gradients, and it's called dithering, and it basically, if you use a dithering, you get these checkerboard type patterns, which a lot of backgrounds have, where you have like whatever, a black fading into the 939 for instance, where you have like a soft gradient from one color in the next, and they do that with this checkerboard, and it is nice in those big areas, but I usually don't like it that much in areas where there's a bit more detail happening, because you kind of lose the detail. So I tend to not use the dithering, because it also means it's more block stitching. It'll be nicer to stitch in the end. And this is how I had this charted in the beginning as well, and this is how I started stitching as well. So you can see I started with this one color, which is, I don't know, I need a line now, 927, something in that 920 range. And I started stitching here the next, and I actually started stitching the border. Is this focused? Maybe. I don't know. I'm confused right now. Yeah, so I would only need to fill in the second orange that I have going here. But I think I ended up not liking it so much. So I went back to the charting stage, and now I actually have this chart with a dithering. I'm not going to rip this out. I'm just going to continue stitching. If it really bugs me by the end, I can always go back and rip this corner out and feather that out. But since I already had to do this, if you can see here, there's a bit of a shadow, an orange shadow, and that is because I already had some stitches in there because I actually started doing another stitch with me. But man, I'm awkward talking on these stitches. I don't know. I have a really hard time stitching and talking at the same time. I haven't given up yet. I definitely want to do another stitch with me, but I think I need something to talk about. It's really weird for me because I ramble and ramble and ramble. I have no issue talking when I'm doing these things, as you can see right now. But for some reason, when I'm doing this stitch with me, I feel like on the spot, okay, now I need to talk, but at the same time, hang on, what color do I need to do? And how far can I over? So I thought I was super smart. I started and then I was like, ooh, this is this big section. So I'll just count it out, put a pin there, and then I'll stitch into there, and then I don't have to think about it anymore. That's exactly what I did. The only problem is I counted 10 too far. So, and I realized that kind of around here when I noticed that because I was stitching back and forth this way, kind of making my way down like a typewriter. And then I realized, hang on, these lines are way too long. It should be getting shorter. And then I realized my mistake. And then I just ripped out these 120-ish stitches that were there and called it a day because I have enough room on either side. I counted out from the center, so we should be fine on the other end. Yay! Okay, lots of words. How many stitches did I put in? Did I even tell you guys? Probably not. I put in 782 stitches out of 282,330 stitches. So this is a huge chart. I think this is my biggest actually. So we are at 0.3%. Yay! Stitching this on 25 count, 2 over 1 tent stitch. Okay, so the next whip I have is here. It was in the next room because I put everything together yesterday. I did my notes yesterday and everything, and I had it all stacked up. But as I said, I didn't feel too well yesterday, so I decided to just postpone to film today. But then I grabbed this project to work on last night, which I didn't get a whole lot of stitches in, and I'm realizing I didn't add them to the tally here. But whatever, we're just gonna roll with it. So my first work in progress is a Ragnarok, and this is what it'll look like once it is done. I hope this is okay, but I don't think we're getting too much glare. And this is a long dog sampler. So I started this, not exactly, but I'm just calling it my leap year start from last year. So the tentative goal is to get it done within 4 years until the next leap year in 2028, but I'm not gonna be mad at myself if I don't get it done. And I have it nicely folded up in the section where I am right now. So I think I'm just gonna show this side by side with where I was before, because I did put in 1,186 plus around 160 stitches last night. Didn't get too far. And yeah, it's really cool. The one thing I'm noticing with this project, since most of my evenings I stitch on the full coverage ones, which are more confetti. They're pretty high confetti areas, both of my full coverages I'm working on. So you have a lot of color changes, and even between each stitch you need to check where you're going. This is going super fast. So this is the whole piece. I'm pretty much exactly at 5% on this project, maybe like 5.1 or something. And yeah, but this is all one color. All the stitches are very connected, so the stitches go fast, even though I'm doing this one full cross, actually. So this is a linen, hang on. I did write everything down, so I should tell you. So this is a 36 linen, 36 count linen, and I'm stitching 2 over 1 with a silk that I got off of one of these sites, Etsy. I don't think Temu. I don't think I ever ordered with Temu yet, but maybe AliExpress could also be. And I hand dyed the silk with indigo, and I hand dyed the fabric with coffee and also iron, which is why it's not quite as brown, more blackish gray. And I really love the fabric. The color of the fabric is awesome. I really like it. a lot. And yay, really happy with this project. I think, I don't know, it's kind of funny. I started with fairly lightly colored silk, and now the latest strands I keep grabbing are pretty dark. So we have a bit of a color gradient happening from the middle outwards, but not checking that. I'm glad if I get a strand out of my rat's nest of a yarn here, I can show you. I don't know. This is, I keep mentioning this. This is what's worrying me the most is the floss. I have it tightly braided just because I had it looser braided before, but then the braid gets undone. And yeah, as you can see with the end, it gets pretty ratty. So I'm very worried with this lasting over time. But if I have it in a tight braid, I feel like it might last a little bit longer. So yeah, I'm just happy if I get anything out of this. So I'm not checking for a color, but so far it's kind of happened that way. Anyways, so yay, the total amount of stitches in this project is around 64,400. I'm not quite sure because I actually noticed that last night some kind of overlay happened. I changed all my charts, at least the big ones, into the CrossStitch Saga format because it needs a special format. You can't just input the PDF for that. And somehow the forest fox is in here as well. It's really, really funny. Like I have some back stitches from the forest fox in the corner of this project. So this total stitch count is actually not precise on this project for some weird reason, but I'm not in that corner yet, so I don't really worry. I think I might look at that chart later and try to get rid of the forest fox stuff happening there. Anyways, moving on. So the next project I worked on is my winter piece. So this is a chart that I got from Etsy. The shop's called Puck's Closet. And the final image looks like this, and I just love the colors. That's totally what drew me to this chart. I also like the stained glassness of this. It's not like full-on stained glass, but like certainly her dress and also her hair a little bit have that stained glass thing happening. And yeah, I just love the colors. So it's just pure enjoyment. I just love, I don't have the thread cards with me, but oh, the thread cards are really what makes cross-stitch for me, I think. I love them. So yay. But let me show you where I am on this project. I'm going to insert where I was before. I made a ton of progress on this one. So how many stitches did I put in? I put in 4,449 stitches, which puts me at exactly 5%. So I have exactly 8,000 out of 152,000 stitches done on this. And I'm basically done with this. There's a few stitches. There's one color that I just don't have. I skipped over that when I ordered the colors for this, for the threads for this chart. But I actually just ordered it yesterday, so I can finally fill in those little holes. And I think here in the lighter leaf, there is some colors missing as well. So I'm doing this with a typewriter method, but sticking to kind of this area. There is like this arch here that's all done with 310. So I'm staying within the bounds of this. I want to fill out this, and then I just take the thread wherever it takes me. So we're slowly filling out some ninja stitches in here. I'm really hoping once I get into this area, which is going to be the next area I'll focus on, that I may be stitching on a few more connected stitches again, because this chart has a lot of confetti going. There is a few colors, especially of the lighter ones, that kind of just stick to the leaves and everything, that, yeah, have a bit more connected areas. But most of these darker grays were pretty confetti hell. So I am noticing the bulkiness of this. So this is also stitched on 25 count 2/110 stitch, but I can show you my back. I am traveling very, very far. And yes, I think I'm paying the price for that a little bit now. Once the area is filled out quite a bit, it gets quite bumpy. I don't think I can... No, I don't think I can show this, but it is getting pretty bumpy. I don't think you would see that necessarily from afar, from where you would look at this piece, but I still get my needle through. I don't have issues with that too much, but yes, it's getting pretty thick. So I don't think I would want to go much smaller than this. I'm curious to see how my Loon piece, the next one we'll look at, will be, because that one's on 28 count. But yes, I think I'm pretty happy with the coverage on this. I don't need more. Like, there's people saying the coverage on 25 tent can be a little iffy, but I don't see that at all. Maybe if you have a solid black or super dark area, maybe you would see something peek through, but with that much confetti, I don't see any fabric. So very happy with this and can't stop stitching on it. And it's at 5%, which is a great stopping point. The next project I worked on is, dare I say, my favorite. It's my baby. I made it myself. It's a chart that is based on a Heaven and Earth design chart, but I kind of redid the whole thing. So the chart is my, what I call the Amazing Loon, because the chart it's based on is Amazing Grace, which is artwork by David Bartlett. And I basically took the background. So the blue watercolor background is what is David Bartlett, but he had a swan here. And I took out the swan and put in the loon. And I also took inspiration by a Canadian artist called Sue Coleman, who puts in these Haida art shadow figures, which I drew this one for my loon posture, so I get the same pose kind of. And yeah, so I'm stitching this one on 28 count, as I just mentioned. And what I did here is I'm stitching it 2/2 full cross in the background, and then 2/1 half cross in the loon area. And this time around, I just worked in the loon, and wow, it's really coming together. I'm super happy. So I'll insert where I was last time, and yes, I basically worked on the black. So I'm working on the black, finishing that in the loon, and you can really start seeing actual feathers coming out. You can even see those stripy things happening here, and oh, it looks so good on the screen right now. Sorry, I'm staring at the screen. I should be staring at the lens, but yes, you kind of have to see what you're showing, right? I hope everything is in focus. I'm a little irritated. I really hope things are in focus, but yes. So how many stitches did I put in here? I also worked quite a bit on this. So this got 3,725 stitches, and this is now at 25%, which is also a really nice milestone. And yeah, I love this piece. It's just the colors. Again, the thread cards, like these are definitely my favorite thread cards because they're all blue. And it just puts me at peace. Like, stitching for me is in the evenings my calming down. I call it my yoga session, because you activate your brain enough that you're not thinking about your day. It distracts you from whatever is going on in your day, but you're busy doing something at the same time. Obviously, it's repetitive. I mean, who am I telling? You know that. You guys love CrossStitch. You wouldn't be watching this if you didn't like CrossStitch. And it's such a great activity. And yeah, having a lot of fun with this one, even though this is confetti hell. I mean, this is right now all just black, so it's not too terrible. Now I feel like it's in focus. Is it really my face it's irritated with? Usually my camera doesn't do that. But I don't know, for some reason I love stitching on this project. And yeah, this is my new Finish Friday piece. This, with the 25%, is my highest percentage any piece is at. And I don't think there's anything else I meant to say with this one. The total stitch count, if anybody is curious, is 82,680. 3. Yay. Great. And yeah, that's what I meant before. Like, I'm curious how because all I have stitched on the tent stitch area is this, which is super solid color. Like, this is basically just 2 colors here and 2 colors here. But this obviously will be crazy confetti, so I'm very curious to see once I fill in some of this how bulky this gets, if the 25 count is already so bulky. But I'm just not there yet to say much about that. But yes, that's what I meant with that. And then I have one more project left to show you. Wow, I'm racing through this. I'm fast this time, but that's good. I don't want this to be a super long episode. But yes, the last piece is in a bag I made myself. All the other ones are in boring Amazon bags, and I'm working on making more bags for myself. And yeah, this is my tree skirt. So this is a chart from Dimensions, but it's not in print anymore. So I got it off Etsy from a questionable seller because it didn't say dimensions, but I just love this chart so much. I keep saying this, it just has the right amount of kitsch for me. I feel like, yeah, I mean, with Christmas, things can get so kitschy. And it's just a fine line, and it's so much has to do with what your taste is, and I just love this. Especially, speaking of thread cards, I love the thread cards, and I have them here so I can show you. This is just such a retro vibe. These colors just give me total retro vibes, so I love this. But let me show you what I worked on, because I actually also put in quite a bit on this project, at least considering of what I had before. Maybe let me fold it up in a way that it's not like super awkward to show. Here, let's try this. So yay, how many stitches did I put in here? I put in 889 stitches, and this is counting half stitches as a half stitch. And I think when I showed it to you last, I only had some of the shadow snow area going and the birdies. And I started putting in some of the deer that's coming in here. You can start recognizing the bunny here, and there's just another snow area, and I'm now working in the tree, which is probably a little hard to see right now because it's like a dark green on a dark blue. There you can see some. Yes, I'm basically making my way all the way over to the furthest point out here. I just kind of want to make sure that I'm okay with the size, because I'm stitching this on 14 count Aida, and the pattern calls for 11 count Aida. And I'm known to make mistakes with calculating out how big fabrics and everything need to be, so I just hope I'm okay with this, which is why I want to make my way over to both sides. And now I'm working to the far right side, and then once I reach that, I'll go to the other side just to make sure. I mean, I'm fine on this end, because I actually don't know if I'll actually finish it this way. The original idea is I bought enough fabric to just use this as the blanket that goes underneath the tree. But if in the end that's too small because I couldn't get a wider piece of fabric, then I might just fussy cut this out and applique it to another tree skirt that I'll put underneath the actual tree and just put this on top. But that decision still needs to be made once it is done. For now, I'm just stitching on it, and I'm very happy with this. And this is, yeah, as Dimensions kits are, there's multiple counts of threads. I think most of them I'm stitching 3/110. Like this all is 3/110. The white bunny was 4/110. And here's some full crosses in here. So yes, different ways of stitching with the Dimensions. And that is all my stitching. So we got through this pretty quick, but I'm pretty happy. I didn't write down how many, like the total amount of stitches I did basically in February. but I think I'm happy with it. And now I can finally show you the fabric. I did not announce that in the beginning. I wanted to mention that because I kind of let you go on a bit of a cliffhanger in my last episode. If you watched that one, I dyed some fabric with the tops of carrots, like with the green bits of carrots. And yeah, so I have a piece of fabric of how it looked like before. So this is some Zweigart. Now I would need to look it up. But yeah, it's just like a printed kind of Zweigart fabric. 18 count. Is this 18 count? Yeah, this is 18 count. And I dyed the fabric green. And this is how it looks like. It is still pretty bright. I was intending it to be darker. I dyed it twice in the end. But I guess it's just subtle. I guess I still have the option of putting it into an iron solution that usually dulls colors and darkens them a little bit. But I did a floss toss, and maybe I can show you. So yeah, just sorry, I actually didn't hold it side by side. But yet this is the before and the after. And the funny thing is, before I show you the floss toss, like there is this print on it, right? And the idea was why I chose to dye this fabric instead of a white fabric is because I didn't know with a natural dyeing how much modeling I'll achieve. And I wanted some. So I figured if I use this printed fabric, I at least have this, which will maybe show through, but it doesn't show through at all. Like, I don't even know on which side it was. I can't tell you. So I'm curious, like, I mean, technically I would want to wash every stitched piece I have once I'm done with it. So will this wash out once I'm done stitching with this? I'd be very surprised. I mean, it's totally possible that it's just totally over dyed, but it kind of seems like it's washed out. So there is very subtle modeling, and it's really nice modeling too. It's just very subtle. So, yay. But let me show you my floss toss. Ooh, there's some bits here. So yeah, this is for my garden carps project. This was my whip go call. Was it February? I think it was a February call. And I think that looks good together. I hope you can sort of see that. It basically hits the fabric that was called for. I think their fabric is a little bit cooler toned, which is what I was hoping for too. But oh well. I think it still will look good. So I'm not in an immediate pull to start this necessarily, but I think once I want to start this, I'll think about it again and think if I want to darken the fabric, or once I'm thinking of starting this, maybe I just want to start it. And I think it looks good. I think it looks good with the threads as is. So yay, have this kitted up now. Also concludes another Whip Go call for me. And yeah, but I think before we get any further, I want to address the giveaway. So the Whip Parade, or in the Whip Parade, I snuck in a giveaway for my Peaceful Lake House chart from my Dimensions kit because I finished it. It's still here, a little bit glared, so you can't really see it. But yes, I still didn't give it to my mom. I think I need to find a frame for it. That's basically what's keeping me from giving it to her. And yeah, I'm giving away the physical chart. So since I changed mine and put it into Cross Stitch Saga, I didn't use the physical chart that came with this kit at all. So I decided to give that away, and if that person, the winner, is interested in stitching up my version, we can definitely talk about that. But I already drew the winner for that back when I was filming the clips for my next vlog, which now I decided to just scrap. So I'll insert that draw here and we'll see you after. And the giveaway was just for the paper pattern. And yeah, I asked you guys to leave a comment, be subscribed, and use the word peaceful in your comment. And there were 9 people that did that. And yeah, let's start. Oops, no, I put it away, but I think it's still there. Yeah, so let's just pick a winner. So I just use the app. It's not even an app, it's just online comment picker. And I set it all up, and yay, it's all mirrored for me, so I can't read it off the screen. So it's Sandra F 6033. Congratulations, you just won the pattern. And she says, I love your projects. Oh no. What? No, it's watching the video. Hang on. Can I go back? God damn it. Yes, I can go back. Yeah, I love your projects and how much you are getting done. The peaceful lake house reminds me of the Mecklenburger Seen of my home. Greetings from England, I think. Now it cuts off. Yeah, that's so cool. I actually replied to that comment. I mean, I replied to all my comments. I try to anyways. Because that's so funny. Because that house is, I mean, the original pattern probably isn't inspired by the Mecklenburger Seenplatte, but our house, the one I modeled my version after, is at the Mecklenburger Seenplatte. So that's cool. So it's definitely getting the point across, which makes me very happy. Right, so congrats. I'll be sending this off to you once you get in touch with me. I'll insert my address where you can reach me here, or you can also just send me a DM on Instagram, although email is probably better because Instagram I'm not very often and not very active, unfortunately. But yes, now I have a little bit of haul to show you. Not much, as you would have seen. I got actually 2 nerd troops. I don't think I mentioned, but you might have noticed. Oh, my projects are in nerd troops now. And the other thing I got is a cross-stitch kit. And one of them is here because I got 2. And this one I can show you. So it's a Luca S kit, and this one is called The Birds Summer. And this is actually one I'm planning to stitch for my mother-in-law. As we were visiting Canada, we visited with her and I was stitching there, and we started talking about cross-stitch, and she told me that she actually used to do cross-stitch herself, and I wanted to make something for her. So I asked her to pick one, and we ended up with this one. And I'm very happy about this. She likes blues as well, so that's good. I told her if the chart is blue, it's more likely to get stitched on in kind of an earlier time frame, because if it were all colors I'm not into, this might drag out forever, how it is with like gift stitching and all that kind of stuff. So yay, I'm very excited. I wanted to try out the Luca S range. I heard good things about it. Unfortunately, and this is something I realized after I unpacked it and everything, this is a Luca S kit that comes with anchor floss. At least that's what I'm assuming because it's on here. I wrote to them, so we'll see. They didn't get back to me. But this one only comes with a paper chart. So I might have to do this with a paper chart. I'm a little bit worried. You can't even get like the normal PDF for Pattern Keeper. They don't give that out at all. Just the kits with the anchor floss. Apparently there's other kits with different kind of floss and they can get the PDF, but not for the ones with anchor floss. So I'll try and scan the paper chart and see if it can get it into Pattern Keeper at least. But yeah, this might be one I have to stitch from paper, which I guess I've done with the Haunted Carousel one. I started that one, stitching it from just a paper chart, but being spoiled with Cross Stitch Saga right now does not make me look forward to this too much, but I'm sure it'll be fine once I'm in it, and it's not too massive either, so we'll get through it. And I'm excited about it. I like it. It's really, really cute. I love the colors and everything, so that's good. Yes, so the next kit I got, I don't have in my hands yet. If stars align and the kit gets here on Monday, which I think it will because I got a shipping notification for something that still customs do, I think it's going to be here on Monday. So I'll insert a little clip of me actually showing you the physical kit. If not, then you're just stuck with me right now and I'll have to insert a picture. So what I ordered is a kit from Gecko Rouge. Gecko Rouge is a company that you can only buy kits from. You can't buy charts as is from them. You can only buy kits. They just recently started a Patreon, Gecko Ami, I believe it's called, where you can just get charts, which it looks like they release soon thereafter as kits as well. But there you can get the charts that you can kit up yourself. But usually you can only go to the Gecko webpage and buy the entire kit. You have like different options for like different counts, and they send you the chart together with the floss and the fabric and all you need. And yeah, I got a chart called Pumpkin Spice Cottage by Kate Brazier, and I will insert a picture right here. And as you can see, it's totally up my alley. The colors just speak to me. Of course, it's 90% blue. Who's surprised? Does the color story remind you at all of any of my other projects? I just love blue and orange red together. It's just, there's just something about that color story. Anyway, so I fell in love with that chart back when I was looking through most of CrossStitchPatterns suppliers, or kit in that case. So yeah, I was just browsing the internet, looking at all the cross-stitch chart suppliers that I knew of, and was just pinning projects that I might be interested in stitching one day. I've shown you kind of my pinned together page in the latest vlog, and if you go back to that, you would see the Pumpkin Spice Cottage piece there as well. I was looking at that for a while. I actually went to the physical page a few times, and then back in February, I just pulled the trigger. My birthday's coming up on the 22nd of March. This date will become more important as we go on this episode, and I felt like treating myself. I wanted this chart and I was like, this is a perfect birthday present for myself. So I just went ahead and ordered it. And then lovely Anna from the Alchemist Stitcher came up with her video of her Gecko Rouge kit parade. And of course, that chart was among them. And I got so excited, I immediately stopped the video and was like writing a comment underneath. And I was like, I just got that one. I'm so excited. And do you want to start a sale maybe? And then we started talking over on, where are we talking? Facebook, I think. And yeah, she is so nice. She's such a lovely woman, and she has a very similar lifestyle to mine. She also has 2 kids, and she's working in a sciencey kind of environment. And yeah, it's just nice to talk to somebody who also has then very similar interests outside of a busy mom life. So there's lots to relate. And yeah, clearly we're also like very similar projects. I like most of her charts that she's stitching on. She is, I think with one exception, she's only doing full coverage. But as you guys know, I am interested in full coverage, and I'm starting more and more full coverage charts. This new one as well, and we decided to make it a proper stitch along. So now would be the time where I need to tell you the hashtag, and I forgot it. I already forgot it. I think what did we settle? I definitely put it in here, but I think it is Gecko Waiting for Fall Sal, because in the beginning, we were thinking of making it Pumpkin Spice Cottage something, but we wanted to open it up just a little bit more. So if anybody of you is interested in starting and stitching along with us, we're starting on the 22nd of March, which is my birthday. And oh yeah, that's the other thing. As we were talking, we realized our birthdays are like super close together. We're just 2 days apart. We settled on my birthday just because it lands on the Saturday, and then we have the whole weekend to stitch on, which is obviously nice to get a decent start going. So if you guys are interested, you can totally join along with any kind of Gecko Waiting for Fall piece that would fit that hashtag, I guess. You can you can be creative and make lots of projects work if you feel so inclined. We'd be happy to have you stitch along. We're probably going to do the hashtag over on Instagram, even though I don't really know how that works still, because I hear you can't really do the hashtags. They kind of work differently. I'm not sure. As you guys know, I'm not crazy active over there, but maybe this is my jump back into being a bit more active on Instagram as well. So yay. Otherwise, just write in the comments of each of our videos where you're at and stuff. We'll be happy. But obviously Instagram is kind of nice when you can also add a picture if you feel so inclined. Anyways, I'm rambling now. I'm super excited for this. Did I mention I might just insert me receiving the package if it does actually in fact get here on Monday, and then I've shown it in the podcast, and then I can actually rip into it, because there's no way I'm gonna keep this pristine or anything until I get another photo op with you guys. I don't know actually if I'm gonna keep this format going. I mean, today obviously it worked out quite nicely, but I might give this whole vlog thing a go, because I did like it the first time around. The last time was just like I was sick for a while, and it was just the stretches were too long. So, or I'll try and film, because in the end I ended up always filming on Friday or Saturday anyways, but obviously then shorter segments. So maybe I'll just release more episodes, which obviously would also not be that terrible, I'm guessing, because more content is always better. But I just don't know if I stitch enough for that. That's why I kind of settle on the monthly videos, because I feel like if I only show you like, look, I did 500 stitches this week, might not be too exciting. Because that's another thing, I'm kind of settling in a weekly rhythm. I kind of stitch on one project for a week, then I have my finish Friday where I switch automatically into something smaller, and then since I'm already switched out, I kind of then move into a different project. That's kind of how it was the last month anyways. Not that there is any intent behind that. And I keep looking down here, and there's actually, because I kind of just skipped over it, but I kind of want to show you anyways because I think it looks cool. I'm in the process of making another bag, and it's nearly done. I just need to put the binding around, and then I have another project bag. This one doesn't have a clear cover, but it'll be lovely anyways. I don't know which project I want to put in here, but yes, lots of blue, so I'm gonna have a lot of projects that could potentially go in here. But anyways, so I'm also doing a bit of sewing. Yay, and now we're done. And throw me a blue heart. That's actually my favorite emoji, as you might notice when you comment down below and I comment back. I usually give a blue heart as well. So yay, throw me a blue heart if you made it till the end. Sorry for the jumbledness of it all. There's probably gonna be a few cuts in the end and here and there. I fell over my words a little bit in the end anyways. Thank you for being here, and yeah, start along with us. We'll be very happy to have you, and I'm so excited to start that one. And yeah, I'll see you in a few weeks. Bye bye.